Welcome to Money Talk Radio. I'm Ellis Martin. Join me now for a conversation with Rana Vig, the CEO of Blue Lagoon Resources. Blue Lagoon Resources trades under the symbol BLLG on the CSE and in the U.S. on the OTC as BLAGF. Exciting developments are underway at the company's Dome Mountain Gold Project in British Columbia. With final mine permits secured, full-scale underground mining operations are set to begin, targeting an annual production of approximately 15,000 ounces of gold. The company is gearing up for an operational launch as early as July of this year, with infrastructure, equipment, and key personnel being finalized. A toll milling agreement with Nikola Mining ensures efficient processing, while final preparations, including the installation of a water treatment facility, are on track for completion within the next 3 months. Rana Vig is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 35 years of business experience, launching multiple ventures in the private sector and leading publicly traded companies since 2010. He has held executive roles in mining exploration, including Musgrove Minerals and Continental Precious Minerals, and played a pivotal role in record-breaking cannabis financings as CEO of Lead Ventures and Rockbridge Resources, a struggling oil and gas venture, transforming it by acquiring Harvest Health and Recreation, closing a $300 million financing, making it the third largest cannabis financing of 2018. Recognizing a commodity supercycle, he founded Blue Lagoon Resources, securing a rare mining permit in British Columbia. Beyond business, Rana has been actively involved in public service, serving on boards and charitable organizations. It was honored with the Senate 150th Anniversary Medal for his contributions to the community. Stay tuned as we move closer to production and the next chapter in Dome Mountain's mining journey. Rana, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me again.
We were just together in the same city just a couple of days ago, and we didn't do this interview in person because we were just that busy. You took a lot of meetings, you met with a lot of potential investors and new investors, and here we are in our respective domains back on the West Coast. And I've got to tell you, it was a heck of a good trip, and you stood out there. You stood out in that particular event because we had a Shark Tank pitch battle type event where 4 companies were pitching against each other for the equivalent of 1 million pounds of fake money, or $1 million, I should say, and a panel of esteemed judges. And really, you were competing against a gold company not in production, a uranium company, maybe a copper company, and one other company. And you were very casual with your presentation. It's not like you were yelling or screaming at the audience or telling jokes or anything like that. You simply told your story about a new Canadian producer in British Columbia where you're going to be pouring gold in just a couple of weeks. And at the end, everybody said, Blue Lagoon is it, Blue Lagoon Resources, because you're producing. It's really as simple as that, isn't it?
It really is. And I was having a lot of fun because it's nice to be in this position. My meeting schedule over the 2 days was completely packed. And what was interesting was that a number of people heard about the company through Grapevine there, and they said, hey, look, we know you're really busy, but can we meet during the lunch hour? Can we meet during the networking events? Can you follow up later? Can we have breakfast before the event even got started? So I was exhausted, and I did. I took them all. I took all the meetings because my attitude is when I go out there, look, I'm not very smart. I just work hard. And so it was great. And that little pitch battle was fantastic. I didn't expect to win. I was just having some fun and sharing our story with my normal enthusiasm because I really believe in what we're doing. And of course, with gold prices, what's happening today, and look what's happening right now in the world, gold's again moving up higher. We're just at the right place at the right time. And as you mentioned, we're not quite going to pour gold in 2 weeks, but we're going to start the operation in 2 weeks. And we will be starting to cash flow here later this summer and free cash flowing before the end of the year. So we'll be starting to ship our ore here, our mineralized material here later on this summer.
I was chatting with many investors during that particular trip in New York at the 121 Mining Conference in Midtown Manhattan. And really, they were asking me, what do you think, Ellis? What company should I invest in? What should I take a look at? Who should I meet with? Who's going into production? Really, that was the major question in many of the discussions is who's going to be producing soon? Where should I put my money? And I immediately thought of you. And really, in this world, with so many companies out there right now, exploration companies, development companies, that seems to be a safe zone, if you will.
Because it's so difficult to get into production. When I started this company, when I founded this company in 2019, everyone pretty much thought I was crazy. They said, you'll never get this thing into production, right? Exploration, okay. That's fine. But my thought process from the very beginning, because I'm not a geologist, I'm not a mining engineer, I'm a business person. So my thought was always, how do I get a project that I know I can get permitted and cash flowing? And after looking at more than 200 projects, this is the one I found. And I thought I could get it done in about 1.5 years, and it took me almost 5. And people are still congratulating us because we're only one of 9 companies in 10 years that have achieved this milestone of receiving a full mining permit in British Columbia. And 2 of those were for coal. So only 7 metallic permits. So it's very rare. So the people who are asking you is with enthusiasm for production is because they know how rare of an opportunity that is. Because I think people are getting tired of just funding companies and continuing being diluted just to poke some more holes and figure out, can they get a bigger resource and hope one day they can sell to a bigger company. At least with production, you have that steady cash flow, and then you have opportunities, you have options. Are you going to acquire something? Are you going to merge with somebody? Are you going to get taken out? There's a lot more optionality. Are you going to start paying dividends? And then, of course, who can argue and who can miss and sidestep this incredible market that we're going through for gold that people have been waiting for a lifetime?
So even though it's 5 years in the making, the timing is just perfect right now, isn't it?
We couldn't have hit it any better. They say the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I'm telling you, we're just really lucky that we're at the right place at the right time. The stock is already one of the best performing stocks of 2025. We're hitting new highs. Looks like we're going to hit a new high again today. And it's because of the exposure that we're getting. People starting to realize that, holy smokes, these guys have got the goods.
What is the potential upside, or do you not want to speculate?
I can share what I believe is the potential upside. Look, we have a mine that's about to go into production in an incredible gold market. So we know we're grading 9 grams a ton. 2.5 years ago, when we sent out 5,000 tons to the mill, right? We have toll milling agreements in place. They reconfirmed 95% recovery of the gold at 9 grams a ton, which is pretty phenomenal. So the upside really here is that we have a current resource of 218,000 ounces. So we know that's there, and that's what our mine plan is based on for the next 15 years. If we do nothing, we can at least extract that. But of course, we're going to do something. And what's the upside? We have a clear path of 1 million plus ounces just on that one vein alone. Now, there's 15 other high-grade veins in and around that area, and we're still only talking about less than 10% of the entire land package of 22,000 hectares. 22,000 hectares, by the way, just to put it into perspective, we were in New York. Somebody told me, hey, that's 5 times the size of Manhattan, right? So it's 55,000 acres. It's a very large area. So the upside is simply cash flow, imminent upside to getting to 1 million ounces plus, where we believe that we can just do the infill by using that cash flow and increase our resource. And number 3, the follow-up on the discoveries that we had when we were drilling. Because remember, we've done 50,000 meters of drilling in and around this, our mine site there. We've had a couple more new discoveries there that we need to follow up on. So there's a tremendous amount of upside here with Blue Lagoon Resources.
So basically, and I'll say it, you're the story in British Columbia right now, and perhaps Western Canada, and maybe all of Canada.
It certainly feels good to be that. We're very humbled by the position that we're in. We're very humbled that the esteemed judges thought enough of us to make us the winners of that competition in a very competitive environment with fantastic companies. So yeah, we are definitely standing out from the crowd right now. And hey, I don't mind that so much.
Rana, it's always great to see you in person and to visit with you like this. Congratulations, good luck to you, and let's talk again soon. Thanks so much for joining me today in the program.
Thanks for having me.
I've been speaking with Rana Vig, the CEO of Blue Lagoon Resources, trading as BLLG on the CSE and BLAGF on the OTC. Learn more by heading to the company's website, bluelagoonresources.com. For Money Talk Radio and the Ellis Martin Report, I'm Ellis Martin.